I think we're all
let
here.
it run. Let it run.
I think we're live. I think our mics are hot now.
I'll just keep fighting it.
Oh my God, Mike. Dak, run us through your last 4 to 8 hours. Because is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday morning for us.
Okay.
Tuesday night for you. But I didn't hear from you all day yesterday. I mean, it's classic communication on your end, but
yeah, it's just kind of like that sometimes. I'm not the best at answering the phone. Like, there's always so many messages on it, and I'm usually actually doing stuff where I can't like message people back. Like, if I could text and drive on my bike, I'd be sweet.
You got to get talk to text going.
Fortunately for you, you ride a chairlift for like 20 minutes in between every lap. So
yeah, but I'm downloading data the whole time. I only have so much RAM, and that's why people want me to do things while I'm testing, and I'm testing, dude. It's downloading. Like the RAM, I need more RAM in my brain to think about what I just did and what change I need to make to go in the right direction for the future. No, I left. I was at the World Cup in Loudenvielle. Frida didn't qualify. I had the epic opportunity to be a host on the live stream, and I just said, "Sorry, boys, I gotta go. I gotta go to Schladming. I need laps." After about 3 days of watching dudes ride downhill extremely fast and polluting my brain of if it's even possible for me to qualify for a World Cup again, I needed to go ride. So Frida was no quality party. We packed the van after, woke up at 6, and I think we pulled out at not as early as I wanted to, 8:30, and just cooked it drove 16 hours to Schladming and did downhill lap. Got there at 3 o'clock. I think we slept like 6 hours in a little Ibis hotel, and there was so much traffic trying to leave France. It took us like 12 hours of driving to take 6 hours off the time. And then we slept and then hooked it, got to Schladming at 3 o'clock and rode downhill till close. Cleaned the bikes up, got dinner, woke up, rode downhill this morning, and then drove to Leogang.
Jeez Louise. Were the laps productive at least? Yeah,
it was really good. I'm glad I did not show up to Leogang with the setup I had in my bike, which it worked fine on the old Enduro World Cup truck, but there's no big compressions. I mean, if you want to test a bike, I say this all the time, and people can, agree, disagree, whatever, but the bottom track at Schladming is world class for making your bike work. Same with the Blaney Black Line. Like, you're going so fast, like, and the compressions are so big, the velocity, like the overall shaft speeds, and then the turns, the G's you're pulling in the turns just do things to a bike that you can't replicate in other places.
How was it watching a World Cup?
Terrible. One, I was just like heavily heated. I was not riding.
Yeah.
The second part was just like, it was literally so hard to watch the race just because like there's so much doubt that starts creeping in, like I watched the helmet cam and I'm like, oh yeah, sweet, I can ride down this fast. And then I watched the race and watched dudes like blasting holes and sliding, because I don't normally see that stuff. I see the last 7 dudes at the end of the day, or sometimes less. So I was like watching like the whole field, and I was like, watch the quali and Q1 and Q2, and I was like, dude, I got to get out of here. Like, I can't watch this. Like, this is bad for my mental health.
Yeah, it definitely was a gnarly one to go watch, because I can't we don't have that many dry races these days. It can dry throughout the whole week, where it just gets so fast and so rough.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. I watched the finals on my phone in the passenger seat of the car. Frida, I drove for women's finals and she drove for men's finals, and I just watched it on my phone while I was trucking. I was like, I did. I felt bad. I would have been really cool to be on the broadcast, but I'm like, after watching Q1 and Q2, I was like, no, dude, I need to go ride my bike. It's going to be bad for me. I mean, it's not really going to be good regardless, but it's going to be real bad.
Did they say what they might pay you to be on the broadcast?
No, they didn't. I think it was just like hey, you're here. If you want to do this, here's an opportunity. But it wasn't like I was scheduled to be a guest. They were just like, hey, you want to do this tomorrow? And I was like, I mean, it's a really good opportunity, but
Yeah, it is.
So is making
Also,
a World Cup
like-
final again at some point.
Yeah, it also
So-
benefits them, so it's kind of a mixed bag, I
Yeah.
suppose.
You think they know that you'd want to be on the broadcast because of this right here?
Yeah, did they actually ask you to be on the B line, thinking because you're part
Yeah.
of the B practice podcast? Have you seen this,
Do you
Dakota?
think they know I have a podcast, or I'm a part of one?
I mean, I see our modest download numbers, but I like to think most people know about this. They ride bikes,
Yeah.
especially people at the races. Come on.
Yeah, they know.
I mean, I was honestly a little nervous. I was like, man, this could do a lot for my image, or I could say something pretty stupid and it could go the other way real quick.
it can do a lot
This
in
is
either direction.
50-50.
Oh my God. I mean, that's the first thing on the list right now to talk about is Discovery, UCI, Whoop, whatever the hell they're called. They have the B line post race show.
We got to have a
You-
talk.
Do you think they knew?
Is that like copyright infringement on what we
I
do?
mean, it's
It's
definitely
getting
a bit of a-
close.
It's getting real
Yeah.
close. There's what's the other one? The people in
They're another one.
they're in the US. There's like B team
Oh,
or something
B
like that.
team. I don't
Yeah.
actually know what that is. Sorry for not knowing, but I don't think it's in the same category.
Okay. I mean, obviously
Um,
not, because this isn't UCI, Whoop, Discovery, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Bros,
Worldwide,
Max.
wide.
I'm like, how there's so many things you could call it. It's just I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, it's kind of like
Post
when
race
there was
show.
the Union and the Fox Union shoe or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Jobo's like,
Yeah.
guys,
Hey guys,
At least they
We-
wrote for Fox.
are we getting some royalties here?
guys.
Yeah, I don't I just
Yeah.
don't really want to be associated. That's probably the biggest thing for me. I'm like, I don't want people to get confused, them clicking on that thinking it's us and it ain't. No offense
Yeah.
to like the people
Because no
doing
one's
the
clicking on
show.
that thinking that's that show. They're clicking on it because they think it's us.
I think they're trying to capture our viewers that aren't good at searching for us. They're going for that SEO. It's okay. It's what's the thing about flattery and being copied or something?
Yeah, it's the finest form of flattery.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Mimicry.
okay. We've done the damn thing. We've hit the B line. We've been in the B practice. Dak might even be in B practice this coming week. We don't even know.
Oh, I'm going to be in B practice, buddy. I don't know how this works, actually. I might make A practice, but I'm going to be in Q2. That's for sure. Like,
What? Come on.
it's looking
So does that
grim.
mean you're just already planning to write off Q1? Use it as a little bit of a warm up, going to Q2, guns a-blazing.
Dude, I have I think like for one, like I have like with after this whole like thing that's happened, I have like a little bit of like negativity and like a bit of hatred going on. Like I have this like little like I'm angry in my belly, and I was like, I am in no place to like get on this show or whatever. And like it's the same thing. The whole thing, I'm just like I'm kind of just still a little frustrated, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just like feel like I'm ready to like I didn't share any of like what I went through, and now I think I'm ready to do a little bit of like a post like, hey, this is what I went through to be back here. And I think I'm open more to share more of like I'm gonna do a carousel of like, the different, exercises I was doing, like not being able to get around, like do like a post about it, because I just avoided the whole thing entirely, right? I was like off the map. And now I think like I finally feel like I'm in a place where I'm like willing to open up and share, but at the same time, like I'm still pretty frustrated about this whole deal. So on the weekend, yeah, there are zero expectations. Like I've done so like everything possible, but at the same time, like so little has been done in terms of like being a downhill racer again. And and I'm like feel so far behind the boat no matter like what I've done, what I could control. So it's like, yeah, there is no expectation. Like I'm not even worried about like I'm usually so anal about bike setup, about like I have brand new suspension on my bike, new air spring, new shock. Settings, couldn't tell you, gonna wing it, you know, like I'm usually like so sure, and I've done timing and testing, and I'm like going to a race, and now I'm just stoked to ride down the track, ride down a World Cup track again, weekend victory, done. The rest of it I don't care.
Makes sense. Why don't you run us through right now if you're gonna do a post? What did you say?
Little angry still, kind of mad. It's
Well,
I can feel it in my belly.
If you're going to do a post coming up before the race about kind of like the last few months and getting prepped, maybe run us through like once you were back on the bike or once you were back weight bearing, what like your weeks were looking like, just as sort of a insight. Why is Tanner making a face?
We're just getting after it.
We got some video. I can send you some clips and stuff.
Yeah.
We got some stuff of him getting stabbed.
Getting some acupuncture or what?
Yeah. Yeah, lots of stuff. We did everything I could. Everything within my control was done. Everything I could do, we did. Burning the credit card, melting the thing, just sliding it.
Grinding the card.
Put a few miles on it.
Dude, the strip is gone after recovery. Yeah. No. I mean, I
switch to Apple Pay only.
Yeah. Tap. No, I mean, to be fair, like I looked at some stuff. I didn't do some things. Like I was like a couple grand a month for a hyperbaric chamber. And I was like, yeah, do I need to do that? Like, I don't know. Like, but like, as far as working with the doctors, staying like on it, like in the physio and using the, like it's not like I was using the physios that was for free with the healthcare system. It was like I was going to the best people and hustling, like making it happen, 3-4 days a week, plus chiropractors and acupuncture and, like did it. Just to be able to walk again, straight up, just to be able to walk.
Yeah, so, I think like people, it's also like, you were calling everybody, like you had talked to people at Red Bull, you'd talk to people like at different moto teams, different doctors all across the nation.
Yeah. And like, I was trying to get a hold, I didn't ever get a hold of him, but I was like trying to get a hold of Dr. Bird, like the best hip surgeon in Nashville, and I called like 10 different physios and 10 different rehab hip specialists. And literally had lines out everywhere. I was like a fishing boat. I was had the net behind it, just trying to collect all the information I could. But I mean, I'll share more about that later. But overall, just like, that's like, I guess like when we talk about like to tie this in, why we brought this up, I guess, it's just like last week, like at the same time, like I've had so limited bike time, like almost none, like it's like a joke how little I've rode. And at the same time, like with watching that race was really hard, like watching how tight the racing is, how fast everybody's going, how much the level has risen. And it's like to even come into that, I was like, man, like how do you even get prepared to come into that? And at the same time, still kind of like pissed off I'm in the situation I am.
Do you think the level of riding has gone up?
Dude, you got to think that before you had to be consistent to get through quali and semi. Now you have dudes that might have made it through quali but not made it in semi, just absolutely knowing they have another run, so they're absolutely swinging for the fences for Q1.
Yeah, it's a good point. I haven't actually looked at the like last year with qualifying and semifinals, like what the time difference was from like first to last, but it seems super tight.
3 seconds in the top 20 in Q1, right?
Yeah, I think it's been about that. I think even the first race might have been maybe less.
So you got dudes just like knowing if they slide out, they got another chance. So they're just like tossing a race run down.
Dude, what blows my mind is like I was watching the Q2. It was on YouTube, and like people that aren't qualifying are putting together such fast runs. Like, I watched it after knowing. I watched it like yesterday evening, so I already knew like who didn't get through and who did and stuff, and kind of like assuming people that are names that didn't make it through might have had an issue or whatever, and they had like good runs. They just weren't fast enough. It's crazy.
Matt Walker qualified first at Mount St. Anne in the semi. Quali or semi? Quali?
Mm-hmm.
Quali first.
I think it was
Dude hasn't made a final this year.
Yeah, quality.
The dude is tapped. He's fast.
Laurie Greenland did not look slow in his Q2 run from Loudenvielle and was like definitely off the pace. I mean, you can watch his run against whoever it was that qualified first. I'm forgetting who it was, but like, or Q2'd first, but like he's still moving. I guess I'm agreeing with you. The pace does seem really fast, and I think it gets not like exaggerated, but it's a lot more on display on a track like Loudenvielle, where I think people know they have to send it at the bottom because everybody's kind of within touch at the top, or you can make up time at the bottom, and it's dry, so it's just like so fast. I mean, scary fast looking.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about poles again?
How about all the dudes landing on him on that gap?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was up with that? I was like, is that not looks like an awfully gray area to me, but
maybe it's like moto. You just have to be around the poles.
Yeah,
like you could just run it off on the fire road and
as long as you're not
turn out there and get back on.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Dude, in Nathan Pavion's run, the section in the steeps where it's like a little lily pad through the trees, and then when you land, you kind of like gap again, and he literally like it's almost like his bike unwinds, and as he's getting buck, you can see him like turn his front wheel to miss the markers.
His like body's like over the is like over the poles, but his bike is just slightly off kiltered.
Yeah, that was nuts. I don't know, dude. There's the poles, which somehow we're still talking about after the first round, which blows my mind. Like Spomer had some good posts on the side about like just inconsistencies with how they're marking the track, which we've talked about it. Pink Bike had a bunch of videos about it. You would assume they listen and they're going to make more clarification with how they mark things. But dude, there's Henry Keifer getting just, a little pit stop in the gate. Is that I have written down? Is that Keifer? I mean, kosher.
What is it? Like what I wrote in our little group chat was you would think that the UCI person in the gate would have been like, hey, like, the mechanic can't help. But they just stood there like with their hands up in the air.
When he hit the wand, the start lady turned around like, what do I do? I'm like, the wand's open. The time has started. You might want to tell him to get running. Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean,
move on, brother. Get going.
Is it not like generally assumed if you break the beam or the wand, you're going? Like if you snap a chain in the gate and it happens is like you're still on the flat part, you're still going if you break the beam or the wand.
Yeah.
How it's always been. It's never not been like that.
Yeah, like Henry Keifer probably could have beat a few different people, like maybe gotten up to like 23rd, I think it is. It's like Benoit Goulange, he's crashed. Like if he would have just taken off.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think you break the wand, you go. We saw it at Crankworks cans. You can skip your front wheel around the wand.
Yeah, that's okay. That's allowed.
But like, yeah, you break the wand, your time has begun.
Yeah.
Your race has started. And then also it was just like weird that they let him sit there for 3 minutes. I guess like Remy Turon didn't start, so like he was supposed to go behind him. So he was just still sitting there, like when the other person should have been loading the gate.
Yeah. That was all strange.
There.
Because you have this situation balanced with the Aon Racing Jr. who he put up a post where basically like it's Stan Nisbet where something with his shock happened
his
or
valve
lost
port
air.
in his shock.
Yeah, like it was loose or something.
Something it malfunctioned.
Yeah.
So it got
and
stuck.
so he's up there though. That's the thing. He didn't like
Mhm.
I feel like saying you miss your start time is assumed you just weren't there in time. He's standing in line and they run up with his bike, and it's like as he takes a step towards the gate, the official steps in and is like, no, you're too late. And it's like, dude, which one is it? Because like on one hand, Henry got a couple extra minutes, and then presumably it affected
Got almost
the
4
start
minutes in the
list.
gate.
Yeah, like and Stan was the first one off. So it's like,
Yeah.
So my last World Cup I ever did at Mont Saint Anne, I missed my qualifying time along with like a few other Americans we were with, because we were the dead last to go because we like hadn't raced World Cups all year. So we had the highest plates. We get up there and they're like packing up all of the starting equipment. And somehow we managed to like convince them to let us drop in, and they still let us have a run. But I always was under the assumption that like, say you're in line and like you're backpedaling and your crank or your pedal falls off, which does happen. Like in my experience, they just let you get shuffled to the back, because it's not like there's times, right? Everybody's going at a minute or 30 seconds. In theory, you can just move the name down and associate it with a different time and have a ghost rider, like it doesn't, kind of no harm, no foul.
I mean, it gets different with the broadcast, right? Like,
you would, yes, but also that comes back to like last week's conversation, or it actually could go to like chatting about who had the person in front of them.
Oh, Christian Hauser, Big House.
Yeah, like what if you need a
Big
rerun?
House.
Yeah, sorry, Houseman. We're taking that one over to
like
Hauser.
I like that name.
The new Big House.
Yeah.
But
Made
like,
me so happy to see Chris Hauser haul in the mail this week. Anyways,
we'll come back to him. But I agree. There's broadcast, but also at the same time, like if they're on a schedule, just start it then and let him go at the end, and don't show him. I don't know.
Yeah, like with Stan Nisbet, his thing, but with Keifer, it's just like the UCI official should know the rule of like, hey, you can't have outside help in your run. Like,
I don't even care if he has outside help or whatever. I don't like they get all played out fairly, right? Like he got his time that started with when the wand broke, but
he still gets points.
Yeah, but
that's the weird thing with like the outside help is that he still gets points when like Hattie Harnden didn't. Like she caught someone in her, or like someone's running on track in front of her in Poland, and then where the points go and ends up at the end of the season is going to be strange.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a weird situation, though. I will say that from like the get-go. Like the fact that he didn't keep going is weird enough to begin with.
Yeah,
like, no hate or anything, but like I feel like a lot of people have had issues pedaling out of the gate, and typically your adrenaline is so high,
stops.
It's really hard to stop. So yeah, it's definitely just the lack of consistency is probably the biggest frustration, because to me it'd be so easy to be Stan and looking at what happened with Henry and being like, why did they give him all this extra time for a mechanical when I wasn't given like an extra 5 seconds? It's not like the beeps were going off for him. He was just late to get in the gate for his start time. So yeah, it's a bummer situation for sure. And just, I cannot believe the amount of drama we've had in 2 rounds. When I was talking with Spummer yesterday, I'm like, you already know something's going to happen in Leogang. We don't know what yet, but something's going to happen. Maybe another beer flag, being waved in front of somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep going through some drama here. We'll keep it. Dak has to eat dinner tonight, and we're trying not to lose him. I got to note, Ronan just decided that the team's E13 sponsorship wasn't worth getting rid of his frustration and just hucked a flat and exploded his wheel. I thought that was kind of funny, but also like, come on, let's grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
Agree.
Especially for a brand that's
over.
A brand that's had a like uphill battle with wheels in particular. And like, I'm not trying to be a spokesperson for them, but Dak, you probably could agree the newer wheels are better than the old wheels.
The wheel I have on the back of my bike is sick. Like it took.
And they last a lot longer.
Yeah, my wheel's sweet. Like
They don't break
we
them,
went-
but they do last way longer.
All wheels break.
Every wheel's
Of
like
course,
that
that's what
is
I'm
like
saying.
the silliest thing to say. Wheels don't break. Like if you do something stupid, the wheel is gonna break. Like if you jump off a building too flat on the rim into an upward facing surface, your rim is going to break. Or if you hit a curb at 70, like the thing's in pieces. Like that is like I think the silliest thing of the bike industry is like people acting like parts don't break. Like parts break. That's the reality. Like you want compliance, but then you want them to be bulletproof. But I think in this scenario, like, yeah, we've done a really good job over the last 2 years with the rim development for that E13 wheel, and it's really good. As it, you know, the E13 wheels in the past were bulletproof, but maybe weren't as compliant as some people would like. And now I think we have a really good mix of compliance and strength. But yeah, if you do something like that, like see you later.
They're still meant to be ridden with a tire on them.
Yeah, I mean, like he didn't even slow down, dude. He made it, and the thing is, he like made it through that rock garden, and like he like rode like a split on the rim before it exploded. It's just like, honestly, in my opinion, pretty impressive. Not to mention how he like scrubbed that roller and just kept trucking with no braking surface whatsoever. Honestly, dude, he was so mad after Q2. Like, dude, it was like no words, trail bike gear on, out the door, went for a trail ride. Like our boy was just over in a field where nobody could hear him screaming. I was honestly pretty pro. Like exit stage left and go take your frustrations out elsewhere.
Yeah. He flatted in Q1, right?
Q1 and Q2 in the same spot.
Oh, in the same spot. So
Yeah.
rough. Did he like slice a tire or break a wheel or just blow the bead off?
I watched the slow-mo. I think he just like hit they're on the back at like because it was on that berm gap where you land on the back of that rock. And when I watched it on the TV, because I didn't watch him in time Q1, I was like, oh man, he cased that rock and broke the rim and blew the tire off. But and then I watched the slow-mo of it, and it looked like there was like a little rock right where he was landing that he like gapped the whole thing and landed on the rock and just blew the tire off, cut the sidewall or whatever.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
It was violent when it happened.
Man, yeah, they really like straightened out the track. Speaking of that, like violence of the whole track.
Everyone, Frida came down. She was like, "Highway to hell." It's like they like planned on rain, tried to make it so it'd be sweet for a rain race, and then it was just an absolute highway.
Yeah, dude,
maybe not bike park, but gnarly highway.
Like talking about the poles, there really weren't many of them. Like in the whole top, like you can't see them in the top section.
I mean, you can't have issues with the poles if you just don't use them.
Yeah.
It's funny because the enduro still uses tape, and like a lot of it on stages, which is like some of their sections. It almost seems more obvious where you like only can go. And not the downhill's not the same way, but like the we talked about the wall jump a minute ago and everybody landing on the poles. That's a prime one where I'm like, where's the little pad thing to just make a very obvious inside marker, get rid of half of these poles, and like if you're to the left of the pad, you're out of the track. If you're to the right of it, you're good. Because if you put that thing far enough out, it's not like anybody's gonna like swing super far and cut down on it to then get like wide for that next little right flat bit. But like there's some weird stuff going on.
I am sick of seeing riders crash into nets and just get the bike taken out from under them and then just get lawn darted down the hill head first. Like, what are these nets doing? Like, can we get an A, B, C net? Like, ski racing, anything? Like, all it does is put you, like, you blow off the track. And then instead of, like, having a slide out in the weeds, it just, like, shoots you head first down the hill. It's like, forget these things. They're so dumb.
We need less spider webs, more catch.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should be wearing Velcro. Get one of those Velcro walls up. Why is the gear so tight?
Well,
It's so tight right now.
I'm not okay with the skin suit.
The skin suits, it just looks
just-
stupid.
It's not a skin
It's like
suit.
bu-
It's a
it's-
speed suit.
It's Buzz Lightyear out there. Like,
It really depends on who's wearing it, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
it
nobody
feels-
wants to see me in that thing.
I mean,
Like-
I would. It sounds pretty funny, but
I would look like a Oompa Loompa going down the hill with my
Oh.
GoPro on top of my head as my little.
what's her name from
Antenna.
Willy Wonka, the blueberry girl?
you look
Yeah,
like a Teletubby.
I mean, I seen Miss Sam Hill posted, "What's up with all the tight gear?" and somebody posted under, "It's not 2008 anymore." I thought that was pretty funny, but I mean, I am one. I wear like a really tight jersey for the race and tight fitting pants, but like, I also don't want to wear them in practice. So it's like, okay, if you do it for the race run, like I get it, but sometimes like can you just wear a normal jersey and pants in practice and then like put your skin suit on or wear your tight pants for like just the race run? Like,
Practice
I don't-
in a race.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I don't know. Like I'm the state. I want a size large jersey for bike park days. I don't even want to wear a jersey on bike park days. I just want to wear a t-shirt, to be
You
honest.
know who always looked the sickest? Connor Fearon. Had big jerseys, and he always looked the sickest.
Yeah.
Don't get me
He's-
started on shorts.
Oh, come on. Bring him back. Bring him
I
back.
bet a lot of people were wishing they could wear shorts last weekend with it being warm.
Yeah. Dude, there were people that were severely overheating. Like Ronan was just coming back and just pouring a gallon of water over his head. And it seemed like the British boys were struggling.
Oh, I
I was
believe
like,
it.
it's just like Tennessee out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get the whole speed suits and the purpose of it all, which is I would do the same. It does make a difference. But
It's
there's
no doubt about it. It's fast. But I mean, if the tracks weren't average speed wide open, this wouldn't be an issue. Like, can we get
Can we get a couple corners?
technicality? Can we get some corners? Where are the corners at? Is the question I'm
Get a
asking.
few more of them.
It's like
Yeah.
Bristol Speedway out there. They're all banked.
I feel like the freaking pants need some different cuts to them. Like, I don't know, dude. I've
LBC?
got
Yeah, you know me.
That's what I meant. Yeah. I don't know.
David
Dude.
Blair out here.
I got some Fox pants they need a longer inseam. That's the
Yeah.
issue. And some of the pants out there right now are just too exposing. I'll say it. I'm not trying to make it weird, but like it just shit looks uncomfortable.
There's some weird. There's some it's weird. Okay.
Some barking dogs out there.
there's some there's some
We're
some
splitting the
photos on the
boys.
internet that I
Oh.
don't need to see.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
when Justin Barcia
pushing
gets
it.
on the podium. And you're like,
Yeah.
good thing it doesn't happen very often nowadays. But
Like my pants are tight, but like dog, like I don't want to flap. I don't want to flap going down the hill.
yeah,
But
yeah. You guys watch Hangtown? Because I saw a lot of looser fitting gear at Hangtown.
Probably because everybody there was actually dying from heat exhaustion.
Yeah, all these mountain bikers complaining.
Yeah, I'm like, let's talk about 230s plus 2 and like 100 plus heat.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep moving on so Dak can stay around.
Motorcycle. Yeah, I mean, last week we were pushing it. You guys were really going the
What else?
distance.
What else we got here? Do you guys want to complain about the broadcast? Because we haven't done it in a while, and this week kind of sucked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Here's my only 2 complaints. Do I have 2 actually? Yeah, I have 2. Number 1, some of the camera angles were shite. Like they were doing the weird turning the camera,
Yeah,
and
getting
like
way too
zoom
Dutch
in,
with it.
and I'm like going cross-eyed, falling over, and then they're not showing full runs. I don't know, like there was so much hype when they took over from Red Bull. They're like they were going to crush this live broadcast experience. And a prime example in Newkirk, she gets 5th this weekend. She drops in from the gate. We get like her up her few turns and jumps and pumps. We pick her up in the finish corral. Not even on her bike anymore. She finishes 5th. I'm like, we don't get to see her whole run. And she's not the only one. It was like pretty crazy how many people you don't see majority of their run. And I'm like, dude, that's not okay.
Yeah, I would agree, but No.
And they need to pay the riders more. Okay,
Yeah.
we can keep moving on. We can keep moving on.
I will say there was also some camera operators out there that I think were just watching the race and not like pulling focus because a lot of out of focus shots.
Yeah, dude, and like even after the wall jump, it's got like a tight left to right, and they had like 3 cameras set up, and the way they were toggling between them almost was never timed right. Like you would like see somebody hit the left, and then they would cut to like a random like GoPro looking in between shot, but half the time it would just be dust, and they'd cut back to the camera that's further down and be barely catching the person. I'm like, it's okay for the start of Q2, when you're just like get it all figured out. It's not okay for like midway through elite women's.
Yeah.
So we were at the bottom for Q1 and the screen wasn't on. We couldn't watch anybody's run in Q1. They weren't filming.
It's nuts.
It was like, what is this? What are we doing?
I'm also disappointed all the riders have just bent over and accepted 3 people podiums.
Dude, they didn't do it at the cross country race this weekend though. There was 5 on the podium.
See,
wow,
all these downhillers getting soft out there.
Soft in the tight gear.
Yeah,
XC's like no pads, tight gear.
Can't even deal with the heat.
Tight gear and
don't understand how to read pole.
It's crazy. 51 euros to ride at the bike park, but 150 to get 10 to the World Cup.
It is so insane. Can't talk about money again. I mean, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. Is that wrong? Like, is that bad? I bet people would donate if we were like, hey, you're gonna give this money to. Let's see, like then that's the question. Who do we give it to?
Split it equal. Let's split it amongst the top 30 as a show up fee.
I'll take it.
Everybody gets the same amount.
Yeah, as their show up fee for being part of the show.
That sounds like a pain in the ass for me to figure out getting everybody money. But
at the same time, nobody wants to pay $16 to watch the race for the year.
So that's a huge question I have that Spencer and I have talked a lot about, especially after this past weekend. We didn't do a Battle Raw. Lawler wasn't there. We're dispersing our funds into USDH this year, so that means we don't have Raws at every round. But like, oh my god, I just forgot what we were talking about. I had a full mental.
Oh, the pay $16 to watch the race.
Oh, how many people are actually watching everything? Are they not just watching the times come through and numbers on the screen, with live timing, and then watching the Q2 that gets posted to YouTube? Like, how many people, if we were to go to our local trailhead, go to Ted's on the Saturday or on a Sunday afternoon after the race and start asking people like, hey, did you watch downhill racing, like World Cups? And then like, yeah. And then it's like, okay, did you watch the race this weekend? Yeah. Okay. Did you like watch just Q2 on YouTube, or did you pay to watch it? Did you watch all 7 hours of broadcasting? By the time you get down to it, it's just me and Tanner sitting there. Like nobody else is
literally.
I just buy
on the same Max account.
I just now bought, honestly, I'm pissed now that I know that you guys have a Max account I could have got on. Like, but
we've had a Max.
It's in the group chat. I asked about it the other week.
I know this is, but I had already. I'm getting in on that for the record. I'm canceling my account because I'm not seeing any of that money I'm paying in.
I've been watching Ted Lasso on it every night.
It's so funny because every time I go on there, it's like continue watching, and I'm like, Tanner's been watching shit on Max again.
Just this year did I get a Max account. I made it through the whole year last year and never had an account. And then my neuro.
I mean, you were there.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't pay. I didn't pay for the Max account or whatever. Yeah, I watched it. It was all good. But like, I was like, oh, I need to like restart like watching the races for next year, and I just now got a Max account.
Yeah.
And I raced the damn thing. I'm supposed to
make sure you write that off.
I'm like Patrick Mahomes out here. I watched tape.
Isn't it not crazy that like as a professional rider, they wouldn't just like give you some like free access pass to be able to watch the race? Because like they wouldn't just provide you like your race run to help like promote. I don't know.
Yeah. The way we're shooting these cones, these poles off the track, hitting them with our feet, they gotta be losing money on them things. All the help they can get.
They need the
I will sponsor. Say, I rode at the Downhill Southeast, and riding a track with tape on the side of it felt really good. Really good.
Yeah, it was probably pretty easy to know where to go, huh?
Yeah, it was just
Not a lot
like
of
that feeling
questions.
of like having the white tape on each side of the track. It's like it's like a.
You don't have
It's
to worry about people
comforting.
running across it.
It's
Like,
crazy. Nobody like goes for a hike. Oh, I actually on the weekend the EWS was there, and I seen so many people out hiking on the EWS tracks, riding up the EWS tracks. I was like, somebody's gonna die. I rode a bunch of the EWS tracks. I'm like, this is not a very good system. I was literally watching some French guy on his Schwinn varsity, just standing up in tight lycra shorts, like with no shirt on, riding up the bottom of one of the stages. And I was like, they're dead. They're all gonna die.
Dude, speaking of people dying in enduro, did you guys see Jack Moyer's crash?
Terrible.
Oh my
I
god,
didn't
it was
actually
so
see
gnarly.
it. Did he
He
post
just
it on
gets
his
like
Instagram?
Yeah, I think it's on his Instagram. He also posted like a vlog with like the GoPro footage of it and like him sitting there for a while afterwards, and like somehow he's okay, minus just being like incredibly sore. But dude, he gets tossed at like freaking 35 miles per hour. It's heavy.
Loses both wheels and then just
Yeah.
like catches and just like
Chucks
eyes out.
backwards. Yeah, it's
Yep.
fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Finn's race run. Brembo brakes.
Yeah, we got some Brembos.
Yeah.
There was like some hand gestures afterwards. I don't know what was going on with that.
With what?
Did you watch when he got down to the bottom? He's talking to Laurent.
About the brakes.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a bike issue or if he was just saying he lost it, but it was like a lot of hand gestures. So many hand gestures.
Well, maybe it's a language barrier.
Hmm.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, those brakes are interesting. I just love that Specialized is they're like never normal. They can't just run like off the shelf stuff. Everything minus they're just still running like a SRAM XO 7-speed derailleur and cassette. That's sick. It's just been that forever. They've been sponsored by SRAM for a while, but they just stay running it. But
I had Finn and like both come over to the tent this weekend and like say hey, and they had those Brembo brakes, and every part of me wanted to just give them a feel.
that would have been so nice.
Put your hand on the bar. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, dude, how are you? Just feel the brake, yeah.
Yeah, see if it feels like a car brake. Feels like a race car.
Some dudes do that stuff. Like, I was in Andorra, and one of the other top riders like just kind of like come over and just like sat on Ronan's bike and like kind of squished up and down on it with their butt, and it's like why they were just talking to us, and I could just see steam coming out of our engineers' ears, like just steam. But it's like, yeah, please no touch. But I think at the same time, like, I think it's very normal. Like I've definitely felt other dudes' bikes and stuff, but it's like some people like don't even think about it, and then other people's are like, "Hey man, can I feel that?"
Yeah. Oh man, it makes sense. I could totally understand being protective of your setup. But
I always twist people's tire knobs. I'm always like
little knob twister.
Yeah, little knob twist. That one's great, right?
Yeah, I'm really curious about those things though. They look like the new TRPs just at a glance from like afar, but Brembo be interesting.
Yeah.
Car brakes coming to mountain bikes.
Car brakes or moto brakes?
I think they're both.
Well, Brembo had to find some new accounts after KTM is, doing their thing. So,
yeah, dark times for the old orange and white.
Too soon. Stop.
Too
Don't
soon.
say it.
Yeah.
Don't say it. I still like riding those. Just stop. Stop where you're headed.
I think the Guineas is they have like a gajillion of them. I think that's actually their problem.
I think they were disposing of them. No, they were like disposing of them because they didn't want to sell them to drive the prices down, so they were actually disposing of them. That's what I heard.
I feel like they would just put them up somewhere.
I feel like they would just turn them red and sell them as gases.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna they would lose so much money getting rid of all that like material and time. But
I mean, they do it with cars, so
yeah. Still though, they're not a car brand.
Yeah.
Maxxis make or break section. I actually wrote some new ads this week. Should I get into them? Should we do a little ad break real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, everybody. The Beat Practice Podcast is sponsored by Maxxis and Burgtec, as you probably know. Start with Burgtec. Burgtec at Burgtec on Instagram, burgtec-usa.com if you want to go buy some stuff here in America. They make high-end contact points. You probably know this. They make a bunch of other stuff, like pretty much anything you could ever think of. They got like axles, they got tie bolts, they got derailleur hangers, they got offset shock bushings, bunch of good stuff. Here's my note for this week. Dan Booker, second win of this season, the EDR. He runs Burgtec components. He's rocking the Penthouse MK5 flat pedals. Also, shout out to enduro racers winning on flat pedals still. Like, I think flat pedals have won more enduro World Cups in the last couple of years than not, practically. I mean, with Sam Hill and
Morgan Char,
French dude, and Morgan Char. Why am I drawing a blank on the Commensal guy's name? Who won the overall, I'm pretty sure, last year, and he's world champ. You know who he is. He runs flat pedals. He doesn't run Burgtec, though, so we're not going to talk about him. Dan Booker also runs the Cloud V2 saddle, which is a dirt jump saddle, and there must be something to it because he runs it. Jackson won on it this weekend, but sitting on a dirt jump saddle for hours on end just sounds insane to me. So I think I actually have one sitting in a box I've never used, so maybe I'll throw it on my Stumpy and see if my butt can survive. Anyways,
Also,
he also runs
privateer effort from Free to 9.
what?
Burgtec,
Oh, yeah,
Free to 9, privateer effort.
there you go. Yes, you should definitely go check them out if you're looking for some fresh stuff. Head into summer. Check out Josh Bryceland's High Rise Bar. High Side? High Ride. Ride High. His Ride High bar, because it's Josh Bryceland's bar. They make it a 50 mile rise too. So if you're trying to look like Stack Attack over here, you can get those boys up there. At Burgtec on Instagram, burgtec-usa.com. Pretty sure they ship through BTI in the US, so you should get stuff pretty quick. Alrighty, Maxxis. Who doesn't know who Maxxis is? At Maxxis Bike on Instagram. Pretty sure just Maxxis.com, but also like every bike shop, probably like fishing shops have Maxxis tires, ski shops have Maxxis tires.
Hey, you get tires for your truck.
You can get tires for your
Or
truck,
your side by
tires,
side. Moto.
pretty much everything.
Quad,
Maybe your
if you're-
lawnmower.
Hey, if you're out there on the quad.
If it's got rubber on it, you can probably put a Maxxis logo on it.
I'm gonna need some new tractor tires soon. Do they make those?
You better
They
hope so,
might.
because those bad boys are expensive. Expansive. Even with, a lot of new tire companies the last few years, Maxxis is still king. They're the leader. They set the bar for expectations for tires. This weekend, they won Elite Men's, Elite Women's, Junior Women's, and I bet the Junior Men's winner, Bodie Burke, was probably running Blacktop Maxxis tires. Let's be real. Even though he rides for Commensal Schwalbe, I bet he was still rocking some high roller threes. Let's just call it a four podium win. Dak, was there ever a time in your career when you rode for a different tire brand, but you still ran Maxxis tires? I think after like 2 years, you're not at risk for being sued.
I plead the fifth.
Rhymes with key. The 3-letter word.
I'm out, dude. I'm out.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
V rhymes with Maxxis. That's weird. All righty. Everybody knows Maxxis. You should definitely check out their new High Roller 3, which we talk about all the time because it is a really sick tire. And everybody has opinions on tires. Honestly, if you want, you can go try other brands. I can pretty much guarantee you'll end up back on an ASGUY and a DHR2. So you can go venture away if you want, but we'll be waiting here with Maxxis tires on our bikes. So thank you about those brands for supporting the podcast. Maxxis make or break section. Dak, you were trackside watching, not riding. Which section of track do you think decided this race this weekend?
I think it for me, we saw a lot of mistakes in the steep section. I guess I'm trying to figure out how to exactly explain where on the track this was. So you what did they call it? The elevator shaft?
Is that not just the whole lower bit?
I was gonna say, is that like the last third of the track or
Yeah.
last half?
That the last half of the track could be the make or break section.
You know, for me, it was a really hard one to directly say like the race was won in this section or that section, because there was so much intensity to the bottom of the track. And I think it was just, for me personally, execution to the finish line. Like we saw both of the race runs won at the bottom. So let's say I guess where Aaron almost blew off the track. I don't know how exactly to explain that.
Yeah. Kind of like that the traverse across.
It seemed like a lot of riders were pushing super hard through the top of the track, right? And Gracey was obviously very far back on Valley, and I think that there were riders that executed the top, like Amari executed the top extremely well, but they lacked the intensity at the bottom. So being able to push all the way to the finish line from, let's call it the elevator shaft, is I think what they called it on the live broadcast. But from the steepest part of the track, the long steep bit to the finish line. I mean, it's probably 2 sectors long, but I think it was just the overall intensity at the bottom of the run that took both Jackson and Gracey to the finish line. It was like not like there was like one tricky section because the track was so simple. It was just intensity and execution.
I like that. Yeah, I would agree. A lot of everybody was kind of within touch at the top, but there wasn't a lot of opportunity to go way faster at the top like there was at the bottom. And looking at Roots and Rain sectors, I mean, Jackson went 2.3 faster in the last roughly 40 sections of trail than Amari. And that's, I want to say that's from where you're talking about.
Like right above where Ronan blew his tire off. Like that last sector.
That's where the last sector is. I think the one above that starts like kind of right where Ronan broke his wheel, I think is where like the last one starts. And where Ronan initially blew his tire off, I think is where the second to last sector started. If I'm not mistaken.
It just seemed like a lot of riders pushed super hard and then managed the speed to the bottom. And the races that were won by racing the bottom of the track, not surviving or not rolling down or managing it. It was completely by intensity, continuing to push all the way to the finish line.
Dude, for sure. I mean, Jackson he doesn't have like the loosest style always, but dude, he looked like he was on the edge at the bottom. Like it was pretty insane how much he was pushing. I mean, Amari was pretty composed in a lot of ways. I feel like Nathan Pompion looked just rolling the dice, letting her run.
Sick.
Yeah. But Gracey was totally that as well. I mean, her rear end's kicking around, like shooting dirt off the side of the track. It was sick, but like it could also gone the other way where her or Jackson could have crashed.
Like both Gracey and Jackson at the end of the run, after where Q1 Ronan snapped a wheel going off that step down, they both set up super wide around that pad and just absolutely straight lined it and gapped down that big drop off, almost landing like on the embankment where they dug the berm out, like almost like a step down, like wide open off of that. And that was like a really impressive thing for me, is the level of commitment we seen. They both set up wide, never break, and just like made a straight line to the last corner, which was or the last 2 corners, which was, for me, we seen that intensity farther up, but in that one section, I think that was really impressive for me.
Dude, I mean, Jackson's last sector was 18.3 seconds. I mean, second place, or the second fastest, was an 18.5 by Nathan, but Amory was a 19.3. Like a second in less than 20 seconds is a lot. I mean, at this level, especially, pretty crazy. Dude, I mean, and I think you're exactly right. It's just, he literally just hucked it off that little bank, which was terrible. Like Gracey more so than Jackson. I thought she was like out of control because she just didn't really brake for that like little chicane left, and then just like landed in that berm. It was heavy.
I thought that's the one thing for me over the course of the weekend. Like, I actually had this talk with Jackson's dad. He's like, "Oh, we're going to be 2 seconds back, going into the steep." And just because he's so light, and I know they put a bunch of weight on the bike, like a lot of weight on the bike to try to speed him up top, try to get him to roll a bit faster. And for me, like, I was like, yeah, like there is the fact that he is going to be lighter and he's going to be back, but also you're not taking into play like how much better he's going to be able to ride the steeps because he's going to have more traction. He's going to have less weight to change directions. Like there is a cost to being heavy at the bottom. Like he can change direction so much faster than me. And I think we saw that. Like he was in touch up top and then just lit it up at the bottom. Like
I think he's a lot more effective with his braking at the bottom too.
For sure.
Like
he can brake later, like literally just
later and shorter.
Yeah.
And then change directions and keep traction during all of it.
I just was blown away how stiff his bike was. Like his
bike's stiff and it's big for him, roughly. Dude, generally speaking. Like he runs his bars are high and rolled super forward, which makes his bike look even like his front center look even longer,
He's fully standing on the bike. Like I can't fully with my setup. Yeah. I have to drop my heels to fully stand up like that. His hips are fully straight. He's literally riding down the hill, standing straight up.
They had a slow-mo clip of him hitting the very last jump between the last two corners where you're kind of like hitting the right and like brake, push through, scrubbing. And in his slow-mo, he looks like a little kid on his bike because exactly like you're saying, he actually it's kind of crazy, like dropped his one crank, but is fully stood up as he's like pushing the bike back down. But it really like accentuated how big his bike maybe is for his size, especially in comparison to like a Loic who's the other way. He's like a bear riding a tricycle look.
Yeah. And I run tall bars, but my bike does not look small underneath me. Like does look small underneath me. Like just because of my bar height. Yeah, like I think like I said this before, I've went on this. I was like, I always say Jackson's bars are proportionally way higher than mine.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think his setup is very comparable to like Bernard Kerr's, the way that he's like standing on the bike.
Yeah, they ride similar, huh?
Like, centered and upright.
Very poppy and bouncy as well.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see like how Bernard Kerr's setup compares to like yours, Dak.
I don't think that Jackson's on a custom frame at all. I think he's just on a 480 reach large V10.
High bars,
with high bars.
Maybe
but I mean, his bars are high,
back.
And the roll is ridiculous.
But they're so forward. His roll is so forward.
That's what I don't get.
Dude, especially too, because they went from Burgtec by Burgtec bars, but he was running Burgtec bars before, and now he's running one up, which has left back sweep, and he's still running them so rolled forward. I kind of thought the roll with Burgtecs was maybe just to get rid of some of that back sweep, but yeah, it's intense for sure. That's what I was going to say a minute ago when I kind of laughed for a second was those brakes he's riding. They're brakes that everybody can probably guess what they are. And they come out super soon, like really soon. And I already filmed all my like impressions of them and was like, yeah, they're not as powerful as like other brakes that are out there. And then Jackson goes out and wins on them. And I'm like, okay, they like still are powerful, but like Jackson's lighter than the average.
It's 130 pounds. Yeah.
And he brakes better than anybody that will buy these brakes. Like he's literally one of the best in the world. So little caveat. Okay. Should we keep moving through? Because you got what, 30 minutes, Dak?
Yeah, hard 27-minute cutoff. Frida will be picking me up.
All right. Breeze through some race recaps, chat on some things that are interesting, get through some junior women here. Tie racing. Top four riders, 2.5 seconds separating them. Austrians on top with Lena Frenner in first, Roses Earl in second. We had American Tilly Melton in third. I've written down it's her best World Cup result to date. I think that's accurate. Best her fourth from Poland. So sick to see another American up there. Lena Frenner, this is her second World Cup, her first win. So she's a first-year junior. A lot of composure and aggression in her run, which was really impressive. Rosa Marie Jensen, who was fastest at the first round in Poland, she fell her first round of practice, hurt her foot, and did not race. So that's a bummer. Hopefully she's back for Leogang. Rosa Zerl in second. She's also second World Cup, her first year racing juniors. So cool to have fresh talent kind of littering both the first race of the year in Poland with Rosa and then this race with Lena and Rosa. Sorry, I got lost in my notes here. Ellie Holzbosch in fifth. Definitely was her weekend to win. Qualified first, fastest, first few splits up until she had a crash after that wall jump that looked pretty freaking rough. So I'm glad she got up and was okay. Think hopefully she kind of turns it on for Leogang. Seems like she's been building through these first 2 rounds. Leith Osgard, another tough race, another learning race for her after crashing in Poland and then crashing again this weekend. She was up by quite a bit at the first two splits. So she's got the speed, just growing pains, getting into it, getting her feet wet, racing World Cups. And that's all my notes for junior women. Anything else you guys want to add?
Okay.
Somebody said okay in the background. Who's in the background, Dak?
I think that's my dad in the back
Oh, it's
here.
your side.
I'm at my parents' house right now.
Yeah, it's all good.
One more
He's
day.
gonna have to toggle that mute button. Unmute, speak, mute.
Usually it's me with my dog. So
Yeah,
All
I have
right.
the same problem. I would just say it was interesting to see Olita Osgard super fast on top when the grade was not as steep. And it seems like for her had issues all weekend down low where the grade was a bit steeper. First year junior, not maybe used to like the grade of World Cup racing, which is pretty interesting for me. And then also like I didn't see if anybody's seen Ellie Husselbosch's like story. Like she was like made like a funny comment with this like photo of her with her peak like straight up after doing like the full kook slam up top. It was like I don't remember what she said, like something about like the track ripping and she got ripped harder or something. I don't know. It was like, like some like funny thing of like, yeah, like the track was gnarly and the crash was gnarly or something. It was a really funny thing. So it's like kind of cool to like see actual racing in the junior women's field. Like for me, in the past, like the junior racing was like always like a like there was like 1 or 2 girls that were fast, but it was never competitive racing. And now like you have girls like the new specialized girl, she's super quick, and it's like cool to see like actual racing in the category.
Dude, for sure. Yeah, and with a decent amount of girls aging out last year, it's cool to get, you know, a whole new generation, new round for 2 years of names that are, it just gets faster. Like every year for both women or like junior women and junior men's, the level of competition is getting insane, which I'll use that to lead into junior men's because holy shit, they were going so stupid fast.
Caption was pushed hard, got flexed harder.
That is good. Dude, the junior men are hauling. Like, what is it? The top 4 would have been top 10 times in elite, which is really impressive. I mean, like their runs just were crazy. Like Bodie Burke, USA, back on top, even though with Asa continuing to crash out, but like not a surprise for him. He's kind of shown moments of greatness. He had like 3rd at Worlds last year, 6th at Canadian Open. So dude, but his best World Cup, I think, before was like a 10th. So to go from like kind of maybe not always making it happen at World Cups to just winning one with a run that was like so sick. Dude, he was so on it. Yeah, it was
sick run.
A little terrifying, but also not. Like he had it, you know. There was other runs where I was like, this person's going to go down. Him, I was like, I think he's good. So
he always rides on the edge like that, though. Like he's wide open all the time. Like I think he's always rode with that speed. This is just like the most he's like put it together at this point in time.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I think it was somebody, I think it was like UCI or whoever the hell posted like an Instagram of him like getting all emotional before his interview, which is rad to see. Like I feel like a lot of the junior kids, when they get interviewed after the race, are pretty short and like quiet. There's like maybe nervous or whatever. And his interview was definitely like chiller than not, but it's cool to see that emotion coming out. Cause yeah, dude, I mean, that's like a huge deal to take a win like that and being on that Commensal team this year and everything. So yeah, super stoked for him. Tyler Waite in second, back-to-back second places. Way better start of the year for him. Very in the mix for the overall. So that's rad to see. Max Alren in third. Hangs on the overall by 5 points over Tyler. Seemed like he was stoked on his weekend. Still was right there in the mix. Like he didn't lose by a huge margin. So he was riding real fast. His brother Till was in fourth. Feel a little bad for him. Best qualifier. Still puts down a sick run. Good result. Still gets beat by his brother. He just can't get ahead of Max.
He's gotten them before.
I think he has, but definitely not very much. Like his brother takes the spotlight 100%, and they both are like sick on a bike. He got beat by his brother by 0.1. So we'll call it a wash. Asa in fifth. I forgot to say, like, Ellie got fifth. Ellie Holzbach got fifth with the crash. And then Asa just went up and did the exact same thing. Like, super fast up top, crashes, gets up, somehow manages to still have like crazy fast lower splits, and ends up fifth, which is nuts. Yeah, he was first of the first two sectors, 16th with his fall, and then a fourth and a fifth in the bottom. I mean, he was 3 seconds back on the win. So we'll call it a would have been a win if he didn't crashed. Better than his crash there last year. It was like way more detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he looked a little beat up though.
That was a heavy crash.
Yeah.
Like,
how did he get 4 seconds up? Like
at the top.
What?
Yeah.
Can you please explain this? It's not like we can say like he's got special suspension or a lockout or like what?
Yeah, he put
gnarly.
He was.
It is.
I mean,
really
he was
gnarly.
fastest by over 2 kilometers.
We're talking about over
2 kilometers fastest.
That actually
over
is
Bodie
really
Burke,
crazy.
who's fifth in elite. So he would have been like on pace for overall day winning time.
I mean, the track. All right,
that's actually.
You say this, but like, yeah, the track got beat up in the elites. Like,
Yeah,
elite women and men. It destroyed a lot of those corners, and we saw a lot of people lose time in those big bomb holes, especially the left-hand corners.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive nonetheless.
For sure. I mean, like when Jackson's done it in the past, when he had fastest time in juniors, there's always going to be that asterisk, but it's like, Jackson's gone down what he has done in the elites. Asa, and really for that matter, like Max and Tyler are kind of shaping up to do a similar thing when they go to elites next year. Like I would not be surprised if they're fully in the mix. So look out, Dak. Here they come.
Yeah.
All righty. Moving on to women's.
Tyler Waite, most consistent rider.
Yes. I mean,
he's always been on the podium every World Cup he's been at.
Has he really?
Yeah. Every World Cup he's raced, he's been on the podium. Hasn't won one though.
That is really nuts, actually. Yeah. That's crazy. Is that counting fourth and fifth place? Or has he always been top 3?
No, he's always been top 3.
That is sick. T-Step's hot take.
Damn.
I actually didn't notice that. Just like sneaky.
Yeah. And he got fourth at Worlds. Which kind of sucks at Worlds, but that's still really impressive.
World Cup racing, yeah. I think Worlds last year might have been his first race back.
Yes, it was. I'm going to say, gosh, I don't know where somebody like him would win. I feel like the Ace or Max are going to take it in Leogang because they are just so good at pumping and carrying speed. But I don't know. I'm not going to hold it against Tyler at all.
He seems to be, I mean, he's obviously well-rounded. He's done well at every track.
I just can't get over how sick all these kids look on a bike. Like, we're talking about the junior women's class really maturing and there being like so much good talent. The junior men's is like becoming almost ridiculous. Like everybody is so fast, and not just like a few that are fast and then everybody else looks like they're kind of risking their life. I mean, like the top 10 looks quite composed. It's yeah, it's nuts. It's cool to see. Got a good feed of talent coming up the next couple of years. Okay, we got 15 minutes. Let's keep cruising. Elite women, Gracey M Street. We've talked about her a few times up to this point, but first win on an insane run. I'll call it an instant classic race winning run, going from basically gaining 6 seconds on Valley throughout a run, being like 3 seconds back at the top and then ending up finishing 3 seconds ahead. Nuts. I mean, it was so rad to see. It's like, I think even my notes from the first round where she was in finals, but I think she got 8th or something like that. It was like, we know she has more. We've always known she has more. And she clearly is somebody that when tracks are technical, like her abilities are crazy impressive. And so to see her do what she did on a track like this was just epic. It was so cool to see. And stoked for Norco. Like, they had such a rough start last year. And they've had a little bit of up and downs even this year. So for not just her, but also the team, that was really cool to see. Valley in second, definitely better round than Poland for her. So kind of surprising that, I mean, second's obviously great, and she was faster than everybody else other than Gracey for the majority of the track. But I feel like we kind of come in every year just expecting her to win everything. So she's going to win in Leogang. I'm just going to call it right now. She's won the past 2 years. The past 2 years, not only has she's won every outing, like Q1, Q2, and finals. So she's 6 for 6 the last 2 years. I would not be surprised to see her turn up and just do her thing there. Tawny in third, another solid result. Holds on to the overall. It sounds like she had a big crash in morning practice before finals and rode a bit more tentative, but she was still in touch. So that's rad to see. Cami in fourth. Turns out if you ride a Yeti, you can just only get the same place all year. So, but she looks good on the bike. Like, steadily in the mix, doing her thing. I would not be surprised to see her contend for a win as we get into it more.
It was interesting hearing on the Misspent Summers, Sven talking to her and Valley Hall about the podium stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And Cami said that she only has bonuses for top 3, where Valley has bonuses for top 5.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
I wonder if that has always been like that for her, or if that's because of the new ruling.
It's new team, but I'm sure that Damien wrote that into just because they already knew that the podiums were going to be top 3. It's probably in the contract.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a dumb question, and we're not going to try to get on a tangent here, but is it 3 people on a podium at Supercross? It is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's like motorsports.
But they do interview 5.
Yeah. Well,
sometimes if it's somebody they care about.
Yeah. Depends on who it is or where they sat in the races.
Yeah. And then 5th, as I mentioned, another sick result for her. Really stoked on that. Like, 2nd in Poland, 5th in Loudenvielle. It's a really good start. Hyped for just her as well as the whole Frameworks crew. And then my last note is shout out to Lou Ferguson and Sacha Ernest, their first finals of the year, first elite final for Sacha. It's cool to see some new names for the year getting mixed in. Overall, I did not do this for the juniors, I forgot, but for women's, Tawny's in first with 510 points, Valley's in second with 394. Gracey moves up to third with 370 points. Anna is in fourth with 342 points. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cami's 1, 2, 3, 4. Cami's in fifth with 305 points. And Nita is in sixth with 260 points. Keep going.
Yep.
Coop. Alrighty. Elite men. Jackson. I feel like we've hyped him up quite a bit, but really stoked for him just to. I mean, he came back at Hardline, got his first win after his injury, which was probably one of the more baller comebacks, winning where you got hurt the year before. But getting his first World Cup win, I'm sure, is some weight off of his shoulders to show that he's fully back in the mix. I don't think there's ever any question he would do it. Maybe it's a little shocking that he did it second round. And I think that going forward between him, Loic, and Amory, it's going to be really interesting for the overall. It's kind of my prediction.
Yeah.
Amory in second. My notes are calling it. He's here for the overall, which I just said. But Yeah, man. Like I think one thing interesting with him last year, with him coming back from injury in 24, he had a lot of comments just about like his intensity not being there, even though he won whatever it was, 2 or 3 World Cups. They were always kind of at races that had some sort of X factor, typically with weather, that lowered the speed. And he seemed to like lean into his technical ability to just ride above everybody else when the track was tough. That was not this weekend. I mean, this was just cut and dry, balls to the wall, fast and scary, and he was like right in the mix. So I think as we get into some of these steeper technical tracks, especially if there's weather, like he's going to be a threat. He's going to be fast, which is cool to see. I'm a fan of his. I think he's, Loic's like the champ our sport needs, and I think Amory's kind of the maybe more laid back personality that we also need. So Jordan Williams in third. That was really rad to see. He's had such an upward battle after winning his first World Cup. It was like the best thing that could happen to you practically, and or happen to him. And yeah, dude, after hurting his knee, kind of part with you last year, and both him and Jackson be on the podium after recovering from blowing out their knees. That was cool to see. Good for Specialized. They're just always on the podium. Loie can't do it. Jackson's like, or Jordan's like, I got it. Don't worry. Nathan Pompian on fourth. Maybe the sickest run of the finals. His best result by quite a bit. Another person like Jackson, whose bottom half really carried him to that result. And he's doing it on a elite team. He's on that Santa Cruz Goodman team. So kind of showing that it can still be done. That was rad to see.
Yeah.
Lucas Shaw in fifth. Just in the shadows. The shadow guy. Mr. Consistent. He's just always freaking there. Like no one ever talks about him. And he's like, what is he in the overall? He's freaking in it. And I think he is fifth in the overall. So I would love for Luca to finally get a win. Has he won a World Cup?
He has not won a World Cup.
God.
Yeah.
He's got to get one so that isn't just like it's like Aaron.
And it's like Connor Fearon as well.
Yeah. Always being so close. Yeah.
Watch it. Careful. Where you go with this?
Hey.
This is getting a little too close to home.
But you've been trending towards closer. You have a faster upward trajectory where Luca's just been in the mix.
He's been there since his first year.
Yeah.
Luca's won multiple qualies.
You have too.
True. This is a true statement.
But Luca's been like on the podium since he was like second year elite.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Which is a long time. So,
yeah.
It's impressive nonetheless, but man, it'd feel really good to see him actually pull through and do the damn thing. Without putting too much effort into it. Like, I don't know if he's gotten second at a World Cup. He probably has at this point.
He has.
Definitely got some thirds. So freaking Stinky Pinky in sixth.
Sick.
That was sick.
Yeah.
California
sick.
day for the California man.
Dude, he is.
He's like
talk about like
out there.
Yeah, a little bit of Telonics for sure. A bit of shoots. Not as many rocks.
Little Silver Surfer.
Yeah, definitely some Silver Surfer action for sure. I would say most improved coming into this year so far. Like Pinky's been fast. He was really fast as a junior, and he was super fast last year, but just couldn't hold it together. And like whatever he's been doing with Lopes this offseason, and then just getting his first year under his belt, it shows. Like his run was not as wild as other people's by any means. And to get his best result, I'm sure he was ecstatic. So yeah, man, it's sick to see. Holding it down for you guys. So
yeah. Lucas Shaw got second at Croatia when Dak got fifth.
That's right.
Yeah. Just had to look that up.
Thanks.
Pinky, I think, is the only one that scored any points for us this year yet, right? Maybe Ronan got some in Q1 or Q2 at Poland, but
we only get points in Q1.
No way.
Yeah.
It's only top 20.
Pinky's holding it down.
Dude, yeah, he's gotten points every outing because he's made it through in Q1 both times.
Pinky is the man. All right.
Oh,
yeah. Shout out to him. Excited to see him keep building.
It was you could see it. Like when I watched him at Rock Creek and at the US National or the the Red Bull, whatever that is. Aaron Gwynn's race at Windrock. It was sponsored by Red Bull.
Disrespect.
Now, forget the name. What was the Tennessee
National? Yeah,
dude.
it ain't that difficult.
It wasn't that hard. Yeah, sorry, I got a little. But anyways, he was tapped, like riding, putting the tires perfectly everywhere he wanted them, riding like really well, like technically sound. It was like you could see like no wasted energy. Every effort was going forward, and like you could see how big of a step he made. And I was like, oh, whoa. It's cool to see it like pay off at the World Cups.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, you're running out of time. There's plenty of people to talk about here. Shout out to Anton Piron in 8th, Oliver Zoar in 9th, Luke Wayman in 10th. Those are all, I believe, best results for those guys. So super good to see.
Names you normally see in the top 10 either.
No,
like,
super impressive. Loic, he just botched it. 15th place was not his day. It sounded like from Instagram posts and post-race interviews and all that just had some bobbles and those just compounded and he couldn't pull the focus back in, which is surprising for him. It's not usually his program and makes it interesting going into this weekend. It's nice we have like back-to-back rounds. He doesn't have, especially for him, he doesn't have to like sit on it and think about it. I have a note here. David Palazzari, Thibaut Deprella, Simone, is it Chapelet?
Yep.
Chapelet. They're all on non-World Cup teams or like factory teams, elite teams, whatever you want to call it. Same with Anton Roge.
I think just World Series teams.
Yeah. The teams that paid a shitload of money to be a part of whatever the hell this is anymore. But it's cool that we have all those names still in finals. Like it shows that it can still be done, even if you're not called like factory backing, I suppose.
Yeah, a lot of Santa Cruz's in finals between those teams. More than
the Goodmans.
Syndicate. Goodman and Rogue both were on Santa Cruz and had more people than Syndicate in finals.
Yeah, not as many common sols. Now the common sols is down to, I guess, 2 teams.
Yeah,
2. Like Muckoff and then
Lazors.
Schwalbe. Yeah.
Lazors, yeah.
Schwalbe, Les Ores. Maxxis Leors. I know for a fact they're not running radial tires. Don't come at me.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Everybody loves radial, but I've yet to see a World Cup racer race with them. So,
Amory was running them.
When?
I know he was running the Magic Mary radial.
Like this weekend?
I'm gonna double check this weekend. But
double check. I feel like they're all running like their new prototype tires right now, but I'm sure it's a radial S thing. Anyways, radial's just a marketing thing.
Yeah.
What, Dak? Why the eyebrow raise?
Nothing.
Okay.
I have an interest in radial tires as of recently, like not anything to do with my sponsors or anything like that. I've been running the IRC QG30 or whatever it is on the hard enduro bike, and it's like pretty crazy how soft they are, and I just think a radial tire might be good in the mud. I was just curious, like to ride one.
I think a radial tire would be good in the mud. Yeah,
it'd be a great mud tire, I feel like. And that's where I would think if it was being ran, it would be ran. I don't know if the radial tire would be the one for like on a weekend like that, like this weekend. I don't know if I could see a radial tire being raced, but it would be interesting to see. Well, I'm interested. I'm watching, and if I need to, I'm going to start emailing.
Well, what's up with these Maxxis test pilot tires?
Oh, they're great. I wouldn't say they're a radial.
Okay. Everybody's going to quote you on that.
I don't think they're I don't think they're a radial tire. I think the radial tire is like a stiffer sidewall and a real soft on top, right? Like the beads going or the threads going in a different direction. I don't know a whole lot about this. This is a new one that I'm trying to learn about at the moment. I'm off.
It's fun putting you on the spot about it.
I'm less interested in shims at this point in time and more interested in tires at the moment.
Wow. We all grow up. Our setups always grow up.
Dax always gets up.
Yeah.
What tires would you have run, Dax?
On the weekend,
Yeah.
Asakai DHR, maybe a high roller in the front.
High roller in the front.
Maybe. Yeah, I just think the only issue with the high roller on speeds that high would have potentially been rolling at the top, of course, but maybe folding some knobs. But I think it would have been great in the dusty corners. But the berms, I mean, that tire is pretty good in the front in the berms. I mean, like really good.
Would you
but
consider going high roller rear for braking traction?
Not at that track, no. I would have just tried to survive. But I think the big thing would have been volume. The volume of the high roller 3 is a bit lower volume than the Asagai. I think the higher volume of the Asagai at those speeds would have been really good.
Do you ever run a different tire than a DHR2 in the rear, typically?
If I run a high roller is the only, or a full mud. Yeah. The DHR is.
But like for dry-ish conditions, there's not really like another option, huh?
Just the high roller,
yeah.
which has better braking and the same side knob.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Did you ever run an Asagai in the rear?
Nah, it doesn't brake very well.
Yeah, too many knobs. Okay, we're cutting into dinner time by 2 minutes now. Final notes real quick. Final notes real quick.
She's running late, but she's on the way. So she's not knocking at the door.
Troy was off the pace, surprisingly. I kind of had him. I actually had him on my fantasy picks. I thought he was going to pull through. So, but Leogang, that's track for Troy. I think he's going to be quick. Excited to see it. Loris, back-to-back 7th to start the year. A little surprising. Like, I mean, there's a lot of new for him this year, but he also was hurt this offseason. So I guess I should give him the benefit of the doubt. Third in qualies, though. So I also had my money on him. Didn't pull through. I freaking had Jackson on my fantasy team, and then last minute swapped him for Finn. And then Finn just sliding in the first turn. I was like, God.
That's going to cost you.
Yeah, it'll happen. These bigger jobs. Loris is going to be fast in Leogang. I'm calling it. Final note, Mr. Aaron Gwynn is back racing World Cups in the finals, 19th place. You'll love to see it. He's been doing it for a while. Gwynn is an old dog now. I hate to say it.
Almost 20 years. Give him a few more and he'll be at 20 years of racing World Cups.
That is crazy.
Yeah, 2008.
Dude, during his run, they were like, talking about his career and like a man who has X amount of World Cup wins from his really impressive 2011, 2012 seasons. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a long time ago.
It's funny if they say that, but like, I think I saw it somewhere else and they were talking about how there was, these dominant periods of Gwynn in 2011, 12. And I was like, he was also dominant 15, 17, like,
yeah. But those years, I think those years he did win
he won 5,
like a bunch of them by a lot of seconds for sure. Like that was like the Gwynn shift. Dude, like the Ricky Carmichael shift.
Hit up his roots and rain. Just look at all the FTDs on there.
It's
just a flat line, basically.
The man does not divert from the plan.
Yeah.
Podiums or nothing. Did you talk with him at all, Dakota?
Gwinny?
Yeah.
Spent almost the whole weekend in his pit. Was hanging out with him quite a lot. Yep.
Sick.
It was awesome. Like Frida was pitting I was wrenching for Frida. So Frida was pitting with him. So yeah, I was hanging out with him all weekend. He was like, he came down, I think 33rd in Q1 and he was pissed. Like, I don't see a whole lot of emotion. He's usually like pretty happy all the time and pretty positive. And there was like a look on his face of like, he was upset with himself, I think. And he said, like with the preseason I had, it wasn't great. Had his finger surgery and, didn't get a ton of bike time. And he's like, I can't really expect to maybe like be where I want to be given like how things have been. And I just think he's like capable of so much, and even the jump from 33rd to 19 in finals, I'm sure we'll see him come through Q1 this week, and then be right there and touch in the top 10 this week, and then we'll see him competing for podiums again in the next coming rounds. Like, I have no doubt with Aaron Gwynn. Like, he, he'll probably take him a couple rounds to get the bike like in a good place, and then he'll start doing his thing like he always does. It's amazing the mental strength that he has. There's never a doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen some hunger, if you will, which is nice to see.
Dude, even with the big mistake in his finals run, he's 19th. Like a huge mistake.
Right?
He's
Like a
He's
mishap.
tapped.
Yeah.
No shortage of speed.
Yeah, Leogang, just like Troy and Loris, track that you never know. You could just freaking pull out a top 10, top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
overall. Amory's in first now, 440 points. Loic drops second with 400. Jackson gets bumped up to third with 313 points. Ocean O'Callaghan just kind of quietly sitting in fourth still, 312 points, only 1 point back on Jackson. And then Luke, as we mentioned, is in fifth with 294 points. Do it again for round 3. Coming up here. Be interesting how the points keep shaking down. It's cool we have a bunch of racing back-to-back. Alrighty, Burgtec, Labor of Love Award. Totally forgot to hit up Dom Platt after last round, so I need to do that still. Sorry, Dom. I got 2 names here. You got any input, Dak, since you're the man on the ground?
I think that first one is pretty impressive. Like, that's hard to do, dude.
Sick. Anton Rojan, 18th place on... I'm drawing a blank on what team he's on.
He's on no team.
I think he's on something, though.
He has something, but it's not like a UCI team.
We're going to look him up real quick. So we should give him a shout out for the little support he does have, but I will hit him up and get him his $200, being one of the faster, probably the fastest really non-supported rider. I don't know if he has much actually written down here on the old Instagram.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty cool if you ask me, dude.
Yeah,
he's
that's
on
impressive.
a blacked out V10 with
Your name
Bontrager
here.
wheels.
With Bontrager wheels, is that what you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Hey,
On a
Bontrager's
rock.
good wheels.
On a Rux.
Yeah.
Not just like, it looks like he's got Maven. So everything on his bike is all completely like shows no signs of sponsorship. Looks like he's just buying it and doing it, riding what he wants to ride, getting a little help.
Yep.
I see tagged HT components, whatever this Ecoy cycling is, Michelin bicycle, Monkey
HT.
products.
Yep. SR Sun Tour,
Fidlock.
HT, Michelin, Fidlock, and Ecoy Gravity Racing.
Shout out those
Racing
brands
team.
for supporting the man, and I'll give him $200. Shout out to his 18th place.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
I got a question. If we're done with racing talk,
we are done.
well, I mean, it's still racing related, but
How dare you?
I saw Reece posted something on his story, I think it was, about how the tracks have been straightened out so much and basically high speed, and how he would like to see the tracks go more technical. How do you feel about this, Dak?
I think the track looked pretty easy this week. There wasn't much line choice. I mean, I would like to see I think that we would see if the speed was lower, less.
Well, and then he talked about the
gear.
big crashes as well. There are a lot of big crashes this week.
A lot of huge crashes. Like, I think it's going to go the same way as Supercross. If it stays like this, like, we're just going to all get hurt.
Mhm.
You hit the ground at that speed, the human body is not rated for that, like, to withstand
Only
that.
so much the D3O can do. But Yeah, I thought that was interesting seeing him post that because obviously he hasn't. I mean, he made a big step forward this week, but
I mean, look at Henry Kerr's crash. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
dude, like crashes, like big crashes like that, like you hit your head. It's almost like I said to Frida this week, I was like, this is a different sport than what we race in America. It's like
Oh, yeah.
not like it's not even the same sport. Like, where do
Mhm.
you train for this? Like, you can't.
yeah,
Like, there's
And, like-
no place you can go and go that fast.
yeah. I mean,
Publicly open.
like full respect to Clay and what he's doing with the Monster Series, but he's building a series that he's trying to get maybe more money and sponsors and like spectator, but it's not like the proper downhill of Europe.
It's
And he's
you-
talked
it's
about
just
it.
like
He makes
gravity.
tracks that's going to be like tight racing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he would go to.
to.
Like, I don't even know where he would go to find similar tracks without having to build new ones. You know?
Those tracks are like slalom skiing. This is
Mhm.
like downhill skiing. Like, it's a different thing. And you know what? If it's going to go this way, okay. But this is going to take different technology, different safety standards. Like, look, you can't race that in a bicycle helmet.
Yeah,
Like
no.
like
I feel like most of the field's wearing a moto helmet now. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone that's on Alpine Stars for the most part.
do we have an average speed for the race run?
Oh, it did get posted somewhere actually.
It was like 38K an hour or something. Like,
Yeah,
crazy.
it might have actually been like
Mhm.
40.
That's
Yeah.
wild, dude.
Like over 25 miles an hour the entire time.
I could have sworn somebody actually posted that, but yeah, I mean, I'll be curious. What's the new venue? Is it like La Twille or something
Yeah.
like that? That sounds like it's a steep, gnarly hillside where the track's being built. And like some of the stuff I saw from the off season when I think it was like Loic and Loris who went and rode it and kind of helped do some of the layout. It's definitely got some bust offs and some slower sections.
Dude.
Like it gets tight.
The average speed for the elite male winning run was 47.19 kilometers per hour, 29.32 miles per hour, almost
That's
30 miles per
crazy.
hour. Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
Gnarly.
That's impressive. That's like a incredibly fast road bike ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need both. Like
Mhm.
I don't mind having a fast track. I just want us to also, like, I don't want them to go to Val di Sole and make it straight. You know, like
No.
leave that, like, I actually take that back. Give it a little bit of both at like a place like Val di Sole, but
Mhm.
leave some tech in there. And I think this track, from the way I kind of see what Reece put out there, and then I look at Loudenvielle, is they had a lot more opportunity to do more with what they had versus just, as you mentioned, keep the same line down the hill, same track more or less. They didn't waver from that. But then so steep, I'm like, dude, make some like sketchy, steep, techie stuff that has like, you know, they kind of, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like there's the section where Finn had his second crash where it looked really wide and it is pretty much like straight down the hill, but it almost looked like it was taped to kind of give options, but everything just naturally funneled to that lower berm. So it's like
you almost need to tape off the option
berm.
that's obvious. Like tape off the obvious option.
If
And
you
make
put
it
an 8-foot
weird.
tall berm, you put an 8-foot tall berm at the bottom of any steep chute
Mhm.
and a straightaway after it, we're all going there.
Yeah.
That's true. I feel like like the stump section of Leogang,
Mhm.
they've kind of always taped that awkwardly where it does make for that little section makes for some interesting racing, and it's not consistent because there's options and it
Mhm.
purposely kills your flow for like the motorway. I just think going back to the pole, they start with poles, we're ending with poles. They just got to put those fuckers in better spots. You know?
Yeah, and then if
more
you do
interesting.
make it awkward, make sure that the pole is visible.
Yeah.
Like-
Can we get a double tall pole?
Like, where is the
Like, where
guy
are
that goes
those?
down isn't there like the rider advocate that like goes down the track and like inspects it? It used to be Ward Cunningham.
I
I don't
think
know if it still is, but like,
Cunningham.
yeah, where is he riding down this track and making sure that everything's in the right spot?
Dude, I don't know.
Is he
He
riding
wasn't
down the
there
same
last
track?
week. I don't think he was there last week, but they had a couple guys there because he was on a site visit. But usually he's pretty good with rider feedback. We have a rider meeting, it's rider feedback. But you can't reinvent the wheel. If they put a massive berm in every corner, there's 3 to 9. If they put a massive berm in every corner, we're going to do 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
we're all good riders. We're gonna hit that thing wide open. So
The most insane thing to me is when you see people going above holes in corners. I'm like, dude, you are no.
I do it. I was doing it all day today at Schladming too.
It's so
and I'm
gnarly.
like, and there's like 6 inches there, and you're like, I don't want to hit these. I'm just gonna run it around. And you're just like making that choice, and you're like,
it's 6 inches, but
someday
really that 6 inches is like 3 inches because the top 3 inches of that is falling away on you.
Someday this is I'm gonna regret doing this. But as long as I keep getting away with it, I'm gonna keep doing it. But I get in Jackson's run, his wheel above that hole, he nearly went over I was like, oh,
dude, the amount of clips from finals of people just railing berms like so insanely well. I was getting blown away. I was like, oh my God, I need to go practice hitting turns apparently. Like
I literally spent all day today testing for berms to make my bike go through berms better. Because I'm like, this is the way it's going. I need to be able to hit these things faster.
You need it to compress just enough to shorten your wheelbase a little bit, but also hold up so that you don't like collapse in the corner.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, well.
Thoughts on
Going that way.
Thoughts on the track this weekend? I'm assuming it's going to be the similar layout as it has been. Maybe in the lower woods, they get a bit creative. I like the newer.
Even the lower woods
Leogang
is really hard packed. No, it's the lower woods. I would not be surprised if it's just more steeper bike park, because even last year it was already all the black dirt was gone and it was like looking more hard packed bike parky, and it seems like they're continuing to build in that direction. Like I literally just said this, like the first race back, the last thing I want to do is go down that double drop in the steep and turn on that log. Like, can we not do this? But it's just the direction of like what's happening with the races. Like to create support and speed, there has to be berms.
What do you think about the rain coming?
Stop talking about it. Hey, you know the good news is my hip might get sore.
The good news, you got wet screens.
Yeah, I might be back in the pool, resting my hip, letting it get a little loosened up. World Cups are too much for me this week. I'll see you next week.
That is true. You can totally pull that card.
Yeah, you have a fill-in rider.
Yeah, if it gets rough, I'll roll an ankle on track walk.
I've slipped and fallen.
Yeah. The last thing I want to do is go through all those stump Rudy things in the rain, but hey, what can you do?
Do you have the walking sticks?
No, but I'm gonna try to get some in the morning.
Okay, good.
I thought about just not doing track walk and pedaling up with my e-bike and looking at it, because literally the hardest part of my week is gonna be track walking.
Yeah,
I mean, like
you should you could have a bike for like the whole upper bit, no? Because it's kind of like a road that parallels a lot of it.
How about you can bring your bike for at least the motorway?
Hey Jake, I know that's gonna be the hardest part of my weekend is gonna be walking the track. So I thought about just like cruising up and just like stopping on the side of the track, looking at it, rolling down the side of the track a little bit and looking at a few things. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I find some sticks or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who we picking for wins quickly?
Aaron Gwynn.
Oh,
I like that.
Let's just root for our boy.
Yeah.
It's Leogang after all.
Mm-hmm.
It's the B practice way, you know. We pick who we want to win. It's not who's actually going to win. We're not trying to help you with your fantasy picks. I'm trying to freaking move up in our rankings anyway. So
hey, I was top 50 this week.
Whatever.
I'm going Aaron Gwynn, Pinky, Lucas Shaw, Dylan Maples, Dak.
I was gonna say you better put my name in there.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Have you heard anything? Anyone heard anything about Austin Dooley? How he's doing with his hip?
He's getting much better.
Okay.
He's like back trail riding, feeling much better. And they just cut his abdomen, so he just has to get stronger with his abs, and then he'll be good to go. But I would say, like, he was already trail riding and like jumping stuff when I left. So soon.
Sick.
Okay.
Women's.
I'm gonna go Miriam,
Oh.
Valley, Tawny.
I'm gonna go Valley, Anna, Cammy.
Ooh.
I guess I didn't say men's, but
You can just copy my picks.
yeah. I mean, maybe I'll copy your picks. I don't know. It'd be fun if there's like a wild card. I feel like Loic will probably be very quick with all of his suspension doohickeys. There's also Kolb. Can't count him out on home soil.
If it rains, Ocean will be strong.
I was about to say Ocean's been good as well. So there
Charlie
are
Hatton, maybe.
You know what? Yeah, I'm calling Finn. Finn last year, I think this is the race where he fell in practice, broke the beam for qualities semifinals, and then got second or third or something. So he's fast here.
Didn't even practice one day.
I don't even know why we do those things.
Yeah. Just show up for race runs.
Yeah. Dak, who you picking for women's?
Valley Hall, Frida 9, Anna Newkirk. Yeah. Got to put American on the end.
There we go. Yeah.
No, I think Valley. I do think Valley will win. She's been crazy fast here. I think Anna's looking super strong. I think she could be on for a podium. And Tawny will be up on the box as well. She's after last week. I'm sure she's a little fired up.
What about Richie Rude? The last time he raced here, he won.
Ooh, hot take. I mean, he sure can fucking pedal. So I would love to see Richie back up there. He didn't make it this weekend. Seems the steep speeds were just a little too steep, a little too speedy.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Same with Martin Mays. Both those dudes were so good in Poland.
The last time he raced enduro here, he won as well. So last time he raced downhill, he won. Last time he raced enduro, he won. He's got a good track record.
Yeah, that doesn't count for nothing. So I like it. Okay, Dak, you need to go eat. We probably hit our 2.5 hour podcast mark. Is there a race after Leogang the following weekend? Does it go right?
I'm going to Schladming.
Week off.
And then what? Is it Val d'Isole?
No, Val d'Isole. Is it Val d'Isole?
Val d'Isole, and then the weird French one, I think.
Le Tuile?
Le Tuile.
I think that's how people have been saying, though it's spelled like Thule with an I.
We got a lot of week to podcast after this one, boys. Lots of catching up.
We should try to do it early on in the week again.
Yeah, keen.
Cube. All right.
Sweet boys.
Thanks, dude, for
awesome.
being here. Thanks
Later,
everybody
dude.
for listening.
Have a
Shout
good
out
day.
Maxxis Burgtec.
Yeah. Maxxis Burgtec. Anyone else that wants to sponsor us?
It's true.
Flood, Jason at J Schroeder at tv.com.
That's not my Instagram handle. Follow me at Schroeder. And we'll talk to you later.
It's his email.
I have that handle too. You can follow Kona Sneaky Lover as well if you'd like. Don't follow me on Pink Bike. I don't actually go on there. All right. See everybody later.